When I was a boy back in the 80s, used to get out of bed after mum and dad were off for the night. Used to get out of bed, sneak out, get in the living room. No remote back in those days. Used to turn the volume down, turn TV on, volume down, and watch me some WWF wrestling. Is that you, anyone out there? Love me a bit of Junkyard Dog, Paul, Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff, Randy Macho Man Savage, yeah? Lately, I'm more of a fan of wrestling as one of the methodologies in mixed martial arts in UFC. But I've got a mate over in Perth who's rolling on the mats in BJJ and going from belt to belt to belt. Shout out Jason over in Perth. But yeah, bit of wrestling, mate, I love it. I had one brother growing up. We didn't wrestle that much because he would just like throw me through walls. I was no match for him. But yeah, as a teacher, wrestle students, absolutely, smash them. When they get to year 12, they smash me. Mate, it's all part of the game, all part of the game. I love a bit of wrestling, yeah. I got lads now, wrestle with them. Sometimes I'll let them kind of get on top and win, then I'll smash them. Yeah, you got to play the game. It's fantastic. Wrestling's brilliant. It's a whole body activity. Even my mate Russell tried to wrestle me once, show me a bit of leverage. Oh, Marty, it's all about leverage. Remember that, Russell? He dislocated his shoulder. Shout out Russell, mate. You're a champion. Anyway. But mate, look, I love a bit of wrestling. In the New Testament, we're called to, or reminded, Paul, I think he told a bunch of believers in Ephesus, he said, we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers and spiritual hosts of the wickedness in the heavy places. But today, I want to focus on your wrestle. I want to focus on your wrestle with God. Yeah, Jordan Peterson wrote a book recently called We Who Wrestle with God. Go and read that if you want a kind of a deeper dive into maybe a psychologist's analysis of that. But it all stems from a passage in Genesis 32 when a bloke named Jacob, whose name means deceiver, wrestled a night, quote unquote, with God, yeah, with an angel of the Lord or an angel or God himself. And he wrestled the whole night, and Jacob, whose name meant deceiver, refused to let go. And there's this classic story that unfolds where he wrestles God for the whole night, and he wouldn't let go. And when the angel, or when God saw that he couldn't prevail against him, he touched the socket of Jacob's hip, and the socket of Jacob's hip was out of joint as he wrestled with him. And he said, let me go, for the day breaks. But Jacob said, I won't let you go unless you bless me. And so he said to him, what's your name? He said, Jacob. And he said, well, your name's not going to be called Jacob anymore, but Israel. For you've struggled with God and with men and have prevailed. And I want to encourage you today in your wrestle with God. Hang in there and hang on. God doesn't expect you to come to him with all your stuff sorted out, with all your mess cleaned up, with all your issues dealt with through one of a million different self-help strategies. God wants you to wrestle with him, yeah? You know, if you've wrestled, you get sweaty pretty quick. You get close, fluids get swapped, mingled, blood gets shared. It's pretty brutal activity. Ears become cauliflower ears. Things can easily get put out of place. And life's like that. Life is messy. Life is very messy. And so I want to encourage you today, come to God with your mess. Come to God with your sweat. Come to God with your BO, mate. You got any BO? Just mix it up. Mix it up and wrestle with God. Your emotions are a mess. Wrestle with God. Your finances are a mess. Wrestle with God. Your relationships are a mess. Wrestle with God. Go to him and hold on. Don't leave the room. Tell someone to lock the door and throw away the key. Don't let go. Yeah? Tomorrow or the next episode, I'll talk to you about what it's like to walk with a limp, yeah, when your socket gets put out of joint. But for today, I want to encourage you to wrestle with God, okay? You look through the Psalms in the Bible, whether it's David or any of the other writers of the songs of the Psalms. So many times the Psalms, they're pouring out complaints, they're pouring out issues, yeah? They're going to God in prayer. I want you to go to God in prayer today, even if you don't believe in Him. Even if you're just agnostic and you're stepping either out of atheism or agnosticism or from a self-help religion or system of belief, and you're coming to God, I want you to step out of that, and I want you, even through just prayer, even if you feel like you're just going to your garage and you're just calling out to the tin ceiling, even if you feel like your prayers are bouncing off the roof, even if you think you're just calling out to the imaginary sky daddy or the great spaghetti monster in the sky, whatever the people that mock God want to call him, test him out. Wrestle with him. Wrestle. I dare you. I dare you for this let's say the next 30 days. The next 30 days, instead of whinging and wrestling with your missus or your kids or your co-workers or your employees, instead of whinging online, flipping keyboard warrioring, instead of keyboard warrioring, yeah? I can't even say that. Mate, how about you pour out your complaint and have a wrestle with God? Do it. What have you got to lose? You never know. And I know, if you hang on long enough, you ask for him to bless you, mate, he might knock your hip out of joint. He might knock some things out of joint. You might go and walk with a limp for the rest of your life. And again, I'll talk about it in the next episode. But you'll get blessed and you'll get your name changed. Jacob had his name changed from deceiver to prince. That's a pretty good name change, don't you think? Get your name changed. Get your destiny, your future, forever starts now. Start wrestling with God right now. Yeah? If you're on I don't know what the belt colours are in BJJ, but let's say they start with white. You can educate me. Put the list of belt colours here in the comments, please. Educate me. I'm not familiar with all of them, but look, put the colours in order in the comments. But you go from one belt to the next, to the next, to the next. And how do you go from belt to belt? You don't just get them given to you. You don't win them in a pass the parcel contest, yeah, where everyone gets a trophy. None of that rubbish. In BJJ, to go from belt to belt, you need to spend hours upon hours upon hours upon hours on the mat rolling, don't you? Don't you? You know that, yeah? If you're a BJJ wrestler out there, you're a BJJ practitioner, mate, give this video a like. You know what I'm talking about. You've got to spend hours on the mat. There's no other way. You don't get it given to you by skipping training. You don't get it given to you by staying home, calling in sick. That only delays the process. So what are you doing today to delay the process, yeah? Here's a kicker. What are you doing to delay a wrestle with God? Have a think about that for a second. Don't delay anymore. Get in the book. Get in prayer. Get in your garage. Pick a private place. Yeah? Punch the walls. Just do whatever you need to do. Don't punch people. No. We don't go there. Punch it out in prayer. Punch it out in prayer and have your wrestle. Get your complaints out. Let it flush out. Okay? Just do me a favour. Pretend like he's real. Pretend like he's real. Okay? And do your therapy with him. 30 days. Do it. What have you got to lose? Who are you punching right now? What are you whinging to right now instead of him? Yeah? Probably everyone around you is copping it, either emotionally or physically or psychologically because of your issues. Mate, go wrestle with him. He made you, so go have it out with him. God's heart is he wants to bless you. He wants to change your name and he wants to touch you. Yeah? you know, when God dislocates you, it's better than you walking in full ability by yourself. Bit of a paradox there, eh? Go on the wrestle today, people. Go on the wrestle. Get in the ring. Not like the old pantomime, you know, WWF like I talked about at the start of the video. We know that was very flamboyant gymnastics, and hey, credit to them. They flip and look jack dazzling, cut good promos. Ooh yeah, Macho Man. Who's your favourite WWF or WWE promo cutter? Mine's got to be Macho Man. He's right up there. He's right up there. Who's yours? Hey, this ain't about no pantomime, fake, artistic gymnastics. This is about getting real, yeah? It's like when Brock Lesnar finally made the switch over into UFC, and then, mate, you know, balls on that guy to go from pantomime back over to what he used to wrestle when he was younger, but the balls on that guy to go from pantomime over to the real, to the octagon, hats off to him. And he had a few victories and then had a few losses. He made his quid. He went back over. That's all right. But there's a difference between the acting and the pantomime and the real octagon, yeah? Mate, let's get real. Let's not play act. Let's not do religious pantomimes and religious, you know, fakery. Let's get real. Have you wrestled with God? Take the mask off, yeah? Spend your night in prayer. Night meaning whatever season of length of time that is. But don't let go. Do not let go of God. Especially if you start this and you get a hold of him, wait, wrestle and wrestle and wrestle and wrestle until the daybreak comes. You know what Jacob called this place? He called it Penuel. Peniel. Verse 30 of chapter 32. Peniel. You know what that means? Face of God. He called it the face of God. The place where he wrestled was the face of God. Get face to face with God. Get face to face with him today. Start the process of getting face to face with God. He doesn't want to strike you out. He doesn't want to extinguish you. I think the prophet Isaiah said, a bruised reed he will not break, a smouldering flax he will not snuff out. He won't snuff it out. He won't snuff you out. He'll touch you. He'll change you. He'll dislocate you. Yeah? Oh, yeah, baby. Prepared to be changed. Prepared to get touched and walk with a limp. Again, check out the next episode for that one tomorrow. But hey, have you wrestled with God? I can't say it enough. Get in the octagon with God. Get in prayer. Tell someone to lock the door and throw away the key. We're going 5 rounds, baby. Let's go 30 rounds. 10, 20, 30. Go 30 rounds. Do it for a month. 30 days. Let's go 30 rounds with God. No way out. Okay? Ain't no TKO coming. Don't just run over the edge of the octagon and out of the stadium. Stay in there. Hang in there. A blessing's coming your way. A name change is coming your way. A dislocation's coming your way. You'll walk with a limp for the rest of your life. You'll walk better limping, yeah, than if you were to just live off independently thinking you're fine by yourself. You'll walk better with a limp. You'll walk different. But hey, if you got value from this video, consider liking and subscribing. Help grow the channel. But look, I'm going to have another couple of videos for you to watch right over here. So click over here and I'll see you in the next episode.